crazy here,
Okay.
guys. I'll have to.
Hi all, we are at again Roundtable, a podcast about the life of music behind us, behind the 10 years. And we will talk about this time the continuation of the effects of the COVID-19 virus, and also the improvements and averages of the music composing process and music making, and also about the different types of uses of different type of really unique instruments. And I was really happy that we can invite Paul. You can know him about. There are many interviews on the channel, so maybe you heard about him, or at least with the heroes of Might and Magic Games. Hello, Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hello from Los Angeles. This is Ivan Vago.
And there is a special guest, Ivan, from Croatia, and he is a pianist. A really talented pianist. Cheers. Yes. And also you can meet again with Harry from England. Hi, Newcastle. Hi. And also with David Wurzel from Prague. Hi. And we are in a Christmas mood now. Yeah, and with champagnes, wines, and Christmas trees.
David is fantastic. David and I we saw each other last year, right? Last year. Yeah, last year. And,
in Warsaw, yeah? Warsaw.
Yeah.
He did the most fantastic performance. First of all, we got to play together, and then he did fantastic.
It was amazing, Paul.
Yeah.
It was so nice. I just felt to be able to do work work with friends and be on stage and make music with friends. It's like when you get reunited with people that you really, really like and respect and you connect with. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful,
very special.
Wonderful. And then to hear you play solo, and then to hear your musical abilities as an orchestrator. You know, David just all he did was just listen to some of my music from Heroes, and then he was able to learn it and then orchestrate
by
it,
ear.
Notate it, give it to an orchestra and a conductor, and perform in it. That's a musical genius.
Paul, please. I'm melting here.
The snow is melting.
But you have to imagine, it's like if I take an object like this, let's say I take this sculpture like this.
Oh.
So I hand it to you, and then you're able to duplicate it. You don't even have a mold. You just look at it.
Yes.
You just look at it, and then you're able to recreate it right here, like without any. You don't even know what it's made from. You don't know the dimensions of it. You just look at it, and then you're able to.
Yeah, sort of. Yes.
That's mean talent.
That's
Perfect.
Kind of.
I don't know the organs. We're absolutely right. Yeah, I don't know the organs. I just observe and listen and let it whisper to me what it has in the mix. And by the way, it's also I must say it's I've never maybe mentioned it, but Rob King is a fantastic mixing and mastering engineer, because all of the tracks really have very good definition in each of the instrumental sections. They mix very well together, but if you want, and if you focus hard, you can discern the different layers. It's a bit difficult, but the mix is really clean, and I respect the guy, even though I never got to meet him.
Rob has ears of gold. He has ears of gold, and he has technical skills that I don't know how he does it. He just
and also the sounds,
The nice thing, the great thing for me in my music related to games, he makes it very easy for me. He just says, okay, we need music, we need it to feel like this, we need it to kind of have a vibration that's like this. So just and then he leaves me alone in the room, and then starts. He goes, "What do you need? What do you need?" It's like, well, I think I need some flutes. I think my imagination. I feel like I need some Japanese drums, maybe some Chinese violins. I feel like I need somebody gotta go. Ooh. So he finds everything that I feel that I need. He puts up on our scoring tablet, and so it takes about a week to do, and he finds anything possible that I might need, and then he says, "Okay, just start composing." So then, and once I start composing, then I leave, and then he does his magic. He takes all this information, all these recorded parts, and he puts it together in a very, very good recordings that sounds natural and real. A testament to him is that people still ask me if that was a real orchestra for Heroes 3, and it wasn't. Cool. It was just
samples.
Yes,
and a key.
It must have taken many nights. Must have been hard to program. I think. Very good work.
Just nailed it. Amazing.
You will need to be the orchestrator, for a Budapest concert or something like that.
Artistic way, like Rob was the bread to the peanut butter and jelly.
I'll never look at Paul the same way again.
I think we're gonna have lunch with him tomorrow. Rob and I are about to start on.
You will meet Rob with tomorrow, or?
Tomorrow, yeah. So
that's great.
Rob and I are working on a new project, so we have to talk about the
coordinate.
New
project.
What kind of project? It's what kind of project?
I would so much love to ask, but I know you can't say anything.
Oh, anyway. I see.
No, I don't know what the project is, so he takes care of that. I'm a little worker, so you put me in a little room.
Cool.
I'm like Rumpelstiltskin. I like all I need is hey, close the door, and then I'll turn it into gold, and then I give it to him, and then he does his magic with that.
He is a music engineer or something like that.
Well, the thing is because he deals with the game producers, the programmers,
the techniques.
He deals with all of he's like the ambassador between me and the company.
I see.
I don't play games, so I don't even know the language they're talking. So and then he tells me kind of what I need to do, and then I do it.
I see.
I don't.
You bring the best.
I've never played a game. I don't deal with gaming producers.
Honestly, he is too busy. He doesn't have it.
You must have played Here's Matt Magic.
Yeah.
Come on. Not even once.
I never played anything.
Really? Not even on tablet. You can play now.
And you see, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So many composers today and developers are so hungry about looking for composers who are like heavy gamers, But it doesn't necessarily have to work. You just have to be like a flexible and proper composer musician. I think that's the main thing. If you're just a composer, if you're a sound designer, it's maybe a little different. But
I think that's one of the issue because a lot of people who work in audio, I'm finding that they are doing sound design, composing, and engineering. They're doing all audio aspects of it.
That's my case.
That's what David does,
They see through as a whole. Yeah, they can.
I'm only a musician, so I don't even know. I don't even know how to make a creature sound or that's not my. I only do music, so and I don't do engineering. I don't do production or the producing. I just do the music. So Rob
that's
King.
Perfect. One day I want to be as far as you are.
That's the dream. Paul's got the dream.
It's the perfect. And you absolutely deserve that position.
And it's our jobs to play the video game and to spread Paul's music around the world.
Yeah, that's great. And Paul, when you did the town teams, the famous Heroes 3, Heroes 5, etc., Heroes 4 town teams, what Rob did talk about with you about it or something like that? He said about something about the mood or the nations or something like that, you know? Or how did you manage to do the teams? You know, what was the handy co-working between Rob and you, you know?
It's always different in each project, but for Heroes, a lot of times we would just give the producers would give us written descriptions, like this, like tower is going to be white and it's going to be. It seems like whatever renderings I saw, they weren't finished, so we couldn't even see them. It looked kind of Christmassy to me, kind of like. It seemed very. So that it's kind of Christmas. When I think of Christmassy, I think of where in the world is it white and snowy and Christmassy? And Russia is one of those places in my mind. When I was a little kid, I used to watch Russian movies like Father Frost. Well, one of them was Father Frost, which takes place in the snow. Very magical movie, and it's like, oh, so Russia, like Russia should be my influence. Rachmaninoff, most
I see.
Russian. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use symphonic dances, the slow movements, a waltz. So it just was like, okay. So they let me do that, or Rob let me do that. Whatever.
Well, I see.
Whatever.
But you have the freedom, of course, yeah.
Wow.
You can choose and
And a lot of times we'll do the music for all these different sections, but then the producers will rearrange. Like, oh, that piece of music actually sounds better over here.
I see.
And so they'll do a flip flop. So you never know. You just have to be very flexible.
I see.
The most important thing though is if it's a good piece of music, you can find a spot for it. It's almost like if let's say you buy a beautiful painting, and it's not what really you had in mind for your house for this corner or that corner, but you like it and it's very good. You will find a place for that painting. So it's what I'm finding is like the producers, if we had to do a different piece of music for a section, they still found a place for
I see.
music somewhere in the game. So we never actually in 25 years we never really had anything rejected.
That's great.
Almost all of it was used except for a project that I did called Rift Planes of
It was an online game.
Yeah, we worked on it. We worked on it for a year and a half, but then John Von Kanigan was the co-creator of Rift.
I didn't know about it.
He and this other guy, and then John is the one who created the company to create this game. And so what happened was that something happened that he left the project about a year and a half in development, but Rob and I had already been working on it for a year and a half. And then they brought in a new composer, like might have been Jeremy Sewell, I think. And all the music that I had written for a year and a half, they did not use. But I got paid for it, so it wasn't.
And you have them still.
Yeah. So, but no, I think we used that music on another project. So.
Oh, I see.
It didn't go to waste.
So they're not missing.
Oh yeah, so on that project, it wasn't that they rejected the music; it was just they brought in, they just brought in a whole new team.
I see.
You know,
could we still hear the music, Paul? Like, do you have it anywhere?
I think it was done non-zero.
And I don't think I identify it as Rift, but you could, the difference of the Rift music from Heroes is that there were very long pieces of music. Heroes tended to be like 2 minutes or 3 minutes each.
Yes.
Rift, there were upwards of like 5 minutes each, and the music was ambient music. So the music was kind of music,
like Skyrim,
kind of a sound effect that it sort of was half music and half ambiance. So it was a fun thing.
Sounds interesting.
Creating a mood, and then you'll have like a bird sound coming in, and then you might have like a cello come in with an Arabic beat, and then that goes away with a voice comes out, and then it goes into the wind, and then it just kind of it's like atmosphere, but
like the battle themes.
Rob told me don't do a melody, no melody.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to be beautiful sounds that come and go and disappear. So whereas everything in Heroes is melodic.
Feel the nature, something like that. Yeah.
So that actually is a kind of an interesting thing as a composer to know in certain things it should be all melodic, meaning that from the first note to the end, somebody could actually sing along.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of it's simple enough that you can do. You can actually, rather than just the power of orchestration, where it's just like lots of drums. With Heroes, they always wanted an overriding melody. Melody was the primary goal.
And which is harder, melody or this ambient like of music?
Ambient is totally different. No melody, nothing that attaches to the brain. They just need a sound. Sound has to be there, organized. Sound.
Most of today's media music is not performable. Well, because it's exactly what Paul said. It's a set of sound design jobs, but it's a job in itself, but it's more oriented to the engineer kind of mind.
But like
creatively experimental, very experimental. You don't really know where you're going. That's what I sometimes like. When I take a break from music, I like that feeling that I explore things.
Yeah.
But then when I get back to what I know, it's a good zone where I can orient myself, and
would you guys say that the legacy of like Baroque music, classical music, modern music, would you say that video game music actually will become like hugely successful and the composers of the early genre will be remembered as titans of its time and maybe even surpassing film music composers? Or what is your opinion on that?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. That's a very good question. I think they will be on par.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference of what I'm finding of my friends who write music for cinema and my friends who write music for games, obviously the people who play the games they play the game every day and for hours. They know the music. The music is in their brain.
Yes.
Much more than somebody who, for the most part, we only watch a movie once or twice. So unless the music is outstanding, we don't really separate movie music, to really just listen to, unless it's a really good score. So, but games, boy, the music really sticks in people's brains
Millions of times
in a way that I don't think there's anything else that even compares. I don't even think during Beethoven's time or Bach or Mozart, people would have this repeat of the music.
Absolutely
there was
correct.
no way to hear it. So I think we live in a completely different environment where the music
and with a different audience from that time. So
it would be more of a.
The dedication of the fans is much more emphasized with video game music than it is with film music. We all like the Pink Panther tune, we all like the Star Wars tunes and stuff like that, of course. But with our video game music, it's just like I'm guessing every one of you has listened to his music a million times.
Yes.
Like we lost a million times. We know every
every bit.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yes. And also you can have more time with the flow of the music, and also sometimes there are, I think, 3 or 4 hour long video game soundtracks where you can get that on a 2 hour movie. So
David and I were talking about this the other day with because as composers we have access to like sound libraries and when they're very good libraries, we all use them. Like one of the issues with that is that because people know people who play games, they know the music. They're very aware of the sounds that they're hearing because they hear it over and over again. So when we're using libraries and we're using the same sounds that other composers are using, some of the players go, "Well, I've already heard that before," because that's how good the thing. So we were talking about sound libraries are very good for composers because it makes our life easier and we can create something fast. On the other hand, when people are examining the music, they're like, "Well, that kind of sounds like what I just heard on this other game or that game." So trying to find a balance of originality and also using these helpful tools is a thing that composers have to. I mean, we have to take into consideration. Like for instance, because I never in a million years thought people would be listening to Heroes 4. Here's my magic number 4 to such a degree that I get all these letters all the time. Why does that music sound like from this other game?
Yeah, similar. Yeah, I heard. I saw
or even
about
South
it.
Park. On South Park, why people are like,
I was gonna ask.
Mr. Romero, somebody's stealing your music. Like, no, nobody is stealing my music.
I saw comment about it.
I didn't steal anybody's music. We all use that same Celtic library because it was really good. It's a very good library. Anybody who bought it, we have the right to use. That's why we bought it, so we can incorporate these pre-recorded sounds onto our projects. And so, unfortunately, because people have such good ears because they play these games over and over again, they hear that this is exactly like this is exactly, and they want to know who's to blame, basically. They want to know like, who is the cheater, who is a cheater, and who is an installer. Clarified this so many times, like no. It's like, let's say we're all contractors and we all have the job of building houses, but we found a window company that makes beautiful windows. So of course I need to use those windows. You need to use those windows. You do too.
You will use the same.
It helps us because we all need to have windows in our houses. So we all used it, and now everybody thinks that
it's a dangerous zone.
Cheaters or original. Or stealers or somebody.
One has to be practical in today's time.
So as a composer, it is kind of important that that's going to be a factor on a project. If it's a success, that you will eventually have to answer to your listeners, like where exactly is the source of this particular sound. So the more original that we can be, and try to use these tools that help us to create music faster, but also keep our layer of originality over that. We have to be mindful of that because otherwise we sound like everybody else, and then people accuse us of cheating.
I see. Even in Witcher 3, there are some teams that there was other games they were. So in Witcher 3 there were I think 2 or 3 teams that appeared in other games as well. So yeah.
I say cheating is a hard word because most of the composers throughout history, and even talking about the old school classical ones, they would take a little bit like Marfolia or the Tottenhams from Liszt and stuff like that. Everyone was emulating everybody else and a free for all.
Refurnishing. yeah.
There are very few.
But and also we're on a time crunch because David know, both Harry and David know. Sometimes they're like, we need that music by tomorrow, and we need it to be, we need to have full of drums, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So
it's not gonna be good when it happens.
Have to be efficient.
And it's hard to that sounds great. It sounds like it's so we can get it done very quickly. It's a it's a time-saving tools, but then it kind of then it's like do we give up originality because we have to meet our deadlines? So one of the things, like with Heroes, Rob King was always very annoyed with me because I took too long. It takes me forever to finish the music. I'm sitting there with the details, I can spend like 4 days on maybe 30 seconds of music, but because in my mind, it needs to be full of detail. And so he's like, you gotta
That's
hurry up.
ideal. Yeah, that's the ideal.
It's almost like
timeline
method acting, method
we
music
need.
making. Yeah.
Nobody gives you that.
Yes, but
Oh, but-
like when I'm working at a studio, his studio costs about $1,500 a week in electricity.
Oof.
So you got to take in because there's so many computers. He has so much with all the special air conditioners. It's a box within a box. To make it
Matrix.
soundproof.
That's heavy.
There's a lot of power that is required to run the studio. And if I'm just taking my time because my little boots aren't working or I need something more interesting, it's going to cost us money rather than making money. So that's a consideration too. There's the practical consideration.
Yeah, that's sometimes.
Sorry, Andrew, go ahead.
And David, maybe you have some experiences similar, crunch time and etc.
With this,
How did you
crunch time,
manage this problematic
I
period?
do. Well, with crunch time, I do, but I don't really work for that client anymore because I had a client in America who was a Czech guy. You know, I'm not gonna spill any details, but he was getting more and more difficult.
We want to know.
Outside of video. Yeah.
I'll send you a link later.
Yeah.
The main game is not too bad. You know, I worked for one project for him, which was a horror game, which is pretty fine. And then he asked for other projects, which were more weirder, and it was getting kind of hard to communicate with him what he wanted, you know, and what he needed for the project. So it happened that he wanted to create a 3-minute loop of combat and a 3-minute loop of menu music in 4 days.
Oof.
You know, and it was a style that I didn't know. You know, because I had the sounds and I had the capability sort of, but he wanted a retro sounding space combat game. You know, with the spacecraft and stuff, shooting the projectiles, and I wrote it somehow, and I hated it. You know, I didn't want to listen to it so much, but in a few fixes he accepted it, and then I kind of decided that I don't want to do this anymore because I got really out of my rhythm. I couldn't get back to composing the game that I like, the Volcanoids game, the most of the stuff, and it was hard to shift back. So I had to kind of stop, and it's good to have all the tools at hand, as Paul said, but sometimes you have so many of them. You know, you can't really understand all of the libraries and all the instruments. It's just impossible. And it's good to find your own zone and become a master at it, and that's what brings the
your
quality.
own style or something like that. Yeah.
You know, but we're all being forced sideways. We're all being forced to do like this, sound like Hans Zimmer, sound like John Williams. And it's hard to refuse sometimes. I'm luckily not in the position, but I have been sometimes before. And then it's hard for you to find originality because it's even asked for you to sound like somebody else. It's important to somehow refuse, I think. It's getting harder because there are more people on the planet, and there are more composers on the planet, and there are more game developers, and it's getting crowdier.
Even more crunchy times, yeah, sadly nowadays. Yeah.
So did you ever feel like you had to sell out for a while?
Yeah.
Like out of the comfort zone music, composing something where you didn't feel really that much comfortable and didn't really expect you would do a good job and really just wanted to return to where you came from.
Yes, that was this job, exactly, that's how I felt.
So it was a better decision.
David, what's your favorite project that you've done? You're very proud of.
Favorite project? A project or just a piece? Like a project?
Piece of your original music that would, you know, what is your favorite piece of music that you created?
The favorite piece of music that I did, or the project that I did. At this
Oh,
point, I
favorite
would
child,
like to
you
say
know.
that my
Okay, yeah, no, your favorite piece of music that you have written.
very hard,
Yeah.
very hard,
Which is your
very
favorite
hard because
child?
right now I'm spending most of the time in Volcanoid's music, but my most favorite child that I have is definitely the Tormenta, the guitar piece that I play, that I played on concerts.
Yeah,
I
it's
used
great.
to play, but I did play 2 concerts in October,
Yeah,
but not too much.
at all of your performances, do you always play this piece?
This piece is always the last, and then I can add some bass, some extra. But
Have
it's always the last.
have you orchestrated that piece or played it with orchestra?
Very good question. I haven't, and even my guitar maestro asked me the same question, and he suggested that I should try sometime. I'm
Yes.
kind of heading this way because I
Oh.
have a plan to start recording it next
That
year
would be great.
in a studio of my friend who is not too far away from here.
Yeah, this way the whole world. This way you can play
Yeah.
it all over the world. Anytime, and if you get invited by an orchestra, you can go and do your performance with the orchestra with your favorite piece of
Yeah.
music. With
I
orchestration.
see what you mean. Yeah, it's viable and it's flexible.
You, how old are you now?
28? Am I 28?
Maybe. It's a hard question.
She knows better.
You play your music, this piece of music, until you were like 70 or 80 at every concert. Would you be okay to do that?
Yes.
Every oh good, great. Then
With
that's
this-
So it would be not daunting, or
It's the only piece I could say. I would be fine to keep it for as long as possible.
Ah, that's
Okay.
really great. Maybe
Harry,
can
what's
you can you play a little snippet from
I've been
it?
forced to compose more and just pushed but not by the maestro who taught me, by the people who listened to it and they wanted to hear more. But Stepan Rak never really encouraged me to press and try to compose more just because there is some demand or stuff. So I, at a certain point, I realized if I stop composing on the guitar, it's not the end of the world,
Mhm.
It was fine, and I feel that what it has given me, I'm carrying now with myself to the main focus that I have, but I still can't drop it. I need to. I kind of owe it to the pieces, because I've played it on several places, and there is no place to buy it actually or to access it as a recording. There are only live samples
I
and
see.
stuff. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna start doing it.
Yeah. Can you play a little part of it, maybe?
A part of this.
Yeah. What we talk
Okay.
about. Just a little. What you want? Favorite part?
Favorite part of the piece.
Yeah. Who's the favorite piece? It's really great.
Let me check this.
Hmm.
Good.
It's great. Wow.
I hope
It's really not super. Sometimes it was out because maybe the sound
because I
system
have the
can't
experience
bear
that
this fantastic.
Other live online or
Yeah.
It's really great. Wow.
Better, but
It must be made by orchestra version.
okay.
That's gonna sound awesome orchestral.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you think
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah,
gives
definitely.
me some good energy.
Yes.
We have a guitar club in Pécs in my hometown. Sometimes they manage to do sessions like similar to this, to Spanish like guitar themes. Sometimes I feel the similar way. It was really great. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's very charismatic, David.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, thank you, Paul. Oh man,
and it's passionate, but it's simple enough that I can sing. I can already hum along when you're playing.
Mhm.
So it's not. It's
oh
not,
wow,
it's
that's
not
very nice. Thank you.
it's not just you being a virtuoso and the music, and it's actually it's a there's a melodic override that I can hum along as you're playing.
And we can feel maybe the
Yeah.
same feel,
Yeah.
as you. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it connects the listener, not just we're not just watching you,
Mhm.
really be a virtuoso. It connects to us, so we can kind of hum along and be part of the experience with you. Orchestrate that.
and we can see that you put up your heart, full heart in it. So
Okay, okay,
to
Paul.
play.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
I'll do it. I'm
That'd be
so
cool.
glad that you responded this way. It's perfect for me because I wanted to achieve this. I didn't want to bore people with some pure virtuosity. I also wanted to entertain myself, to be honest.
I see.
That's the guitarist
Along with
lifestyle.
something, so
Yeah.
I also like it, and the people are going to like it. And just to prove that I'm so perfect, I'm not that perfect a guitarist. That's why I also never really wanted to focus hard on it because I focused on the strong suit that I have. And if I wanted to compete with just the technicality,
I
I
see.
wouldn't really find my best light in there, I think. So I focused on more making my own stuff.
Be
Oh, I see.
beautiful.
That sounds awesome.
That's what all the great composers did. They wrote music for themselves to play.
Oh, when you write a great
It's
music,
perfect.
you have a feeling that maybe one day, let me use the example of Rachmaninoff, like when the bells of Moscow, so like bum bum.
Oh, I
bum.
see.
He
Mhm.
was, yeah, actually, I just give you an example.
Oh, it's the prelude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
when he composed that tune, he was very proud of the success of it, very proud of himself. But after 10, 20,
Cool.
30 years of the public constantly asking for this song, he grew to hate it. He grew
Yeah,
to hate
that's understandable.
it. He wanted to never hear it again.
I can see that.
Oh, you know why? It's not that he hated that piece of music.
hi,
you
Jakub.
guys.
Another old friend came here.
Hi, Jakub.
Hey,
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Long time no see.
Punch up in your face. Yeah.
long time. Let's see. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm very fine. How are you?
We're great.
Great.
This is Ivan Mago. He's visiting me he's from Croatia, but he lives in Ireland. So he's spending Christmas with me.
Christmas time in LA. Yeah. How
He's
great
my
is
Christmas
this?
present.
Are you flattering too much?
Yeah.
Jakub and I, we performed in Poland together.
Borislav was here for 5 minutes, but he must do the work again, sadly.
At the end.
That's cool.
That's why
he won the contest that they had for which Heroes player could play a piece of music at the duet with me. So he won the contest.
Dziękuję, Jakub. Dziękuję.
Yes,
Yeah, everybody submitted, and he was like, oh my god, he's the winner.
he was one of the best.
we-
Combination, you know, with
barely had a
piano.
rehearsal. Because the amplifiers were going out, we barely had. We just didn't have very much time to put it together, but he was a huge hit.
Oh,
Because
stop!
And the great operatic voice, you know. To at the end.
you were crazy. They were screaming, and standing ovations. And it was a moment. That was a big
Yeah.
moment.
You know,
A really show star, you know. But really.
I never thought of ever hearing Heroes with like electric guitar and this rock and roll sensibility, and then with when he sang, oh my god, that was incredible.
And
That's
rock
amazing.
and roll, you know.
wasn't that your idea?
Yeah.
Wasn't that your idea for me to sing, actually?
Was it my idea?
The
Yeah.
instigator.
Well, you know what? You told me that you were a singer.
Yeah.
So maybe, what? Since you're gonna play, maybe would you want to sing it? And you said yes. Barry, you know what? You're the kind of artist that is great because you're very flexible.
Mhm.
So we were talking about, you weren't here, but we were talking about in the gaming industry. Things have got to be very flexible. So if you're a composer, you're an artist, the more flexible you are, it just makes navigating the career or the field easier. So yeah, you were very flexible. Like, yeah, I'll do that, and he did it. You remember we had issues with the electric guitar or the speaker or the speaker in the hall, and there wasn't time, and you made it work. Like you just boom. Didn't get nervous. We just boom, bam, boom.
Okay.
He's a great trainer too.
There was no, just because sometimes when I'm working with other people, I might be working with them for months and months, and so we're preparing for that big moment, and then it just crashes. There's a crash.
Oh,
It
I
doesn't
see.
work.
Mhm.
For you came in, we met, and we rehearsed for 10 minutes, and next thing you know, we're on a huge stage, and you nailed it. It was a huge success. So
Yeah,
that's
the weight of responsibility and but it's not on Jakub as well.
flexibility, the ability to make a success is
Mhm.
the talent that he has. So
The snow is melting there down now. Yeah, that's. Where is you now, Jakub? In Wrocław or?
Yeah, I'm
see.
in Wrocław. I'm still in Wrocław, in my hometown.
That's great.
how is it? Are you cold? Is it freezing?
Cold snow ever?
It is cold. It is quite cold. It's like, I don't know what's the Fahrenheit value, but in centigrade it's like 0 or below 0 a bit.
Yeah, because we too in Hungary -5 today, so.
It's almost the end of December. We have to remember that this is a month that we have a winter in, right?
Yeah. In LA, sunny winter, yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees.
Mhm.
Okay. Harry, what are you working on right now?
Oh man, I've only just been getting back into music. Like I've been doing like psychology, like with my like personality typing business thing for the last,
Musical
2 years.
psychology, yeah?
Yeah. No, completely not.
Yeah.
Cognitive. Yeah.
Are you a psychologist?
Yeah, I'm technically a psychologist now. Yeah, I've made my own business and it's going great. I've got my own YouTube channel with it and like
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
new personality theory.
I recommend
yeah,
it.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? What is your So how does your business work?
Cool. So essentially, like, I upload videos and stuff to YouTube, kind of piggybacking on like popular personality type models, but with my own slant on it, which is more kind of like cognitive, how the person's brain works. So essentially, people come to me based off like what they see on the YouTube channel, and they want to know why do they think the ways they think, for example. How can they process this information in that certain way, for example. Like you can take it for music as well. Certain people have different composing styles based upon how the brain's operating. So that's the sort of thing I sort of give to people essentially. I give them like a personality kind of type on a big spectrum of how we're all different as individuals.
Can you give an example of one of your recent
course.
clients? Like what? Like
Yeah, it's like I mean, like I'll just like without confidentiality stuff, I could just say generally speaking, like one client I got recently was kind of like what I'd call like an extroverted thinking dominant, for example, and he was like a CEO of like a company, etc. And it's like he was very creative, but everything had to be actionable. It was very kind of like you know, frontal lobe kind of executive function based activity.
What does actionable mean? What does that mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So like, imagine like you have a kind of like a musical idea, and then you're kind of like, well, this is really beautiful. It's really speaking to me, and then to become actionable, it's going to say, and how can it impact the world around me? What kind of effect can I have upon it? And then certain people will be more like, I'm going to affect people, and then other people might be like, I could make money out of this. If that makes sense, just as like two basic examples. Yeah, so it's like, and our brains literally are pre-wired to like think in these certain ways over other ones, and that's where the kind of the cognitive type thing comes in. So yeah, it's really fascinating because you get to meet people all around the world, totally different backgrounds, but you can always trace like the thinking patterns.
So they will reveal to you certain how they think, but they don't know how they are. So you can spell
big
it
picture.
out.
It's composition. It's literally composition. Yeah, they give me all the information and I put it together into composition and then say, this is the beautiful narrative of your brain.
So it gives a full circle, you know, when you say
What about him? What would you say about him?
Oh man, it's like you have to ask so many questions because otherwise, like you just go off temperament. You seem introverted, but yeah.
Would you say that your background right now will serve you very well in your future musical endeavors?
Yes, actually, funnily enough, it is actually synergizing quite wonderfully. Like because I'm working on theoretical models of the mind. Yeah, it's like it's making my composition better, and it's kind of like it's making me network more with other people. So that means like I'm meeting more and more people all around the world. That means my music is actually going to have more opportunities. And now I know how my brain works, I can actually do it all better as well because I understand, oh, this is why I do the things I do. Yeah, exactly. So definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So when's the last time you wrote a piece of music?
Oh, that was about a few months ago. I started working on a new guitar piece and it's like coming along. I'm realizing now, I used to create very progressive, like multi-modulation kind of like interesting pieces, and it's enjoyable. But I've started stripping it back at the moment, and I'm paying more attention to the kind of the finer details of like minimalism, and the space in between notes, for example. I'm paying a lot more attention to that now, and it's like condensing 7-minute pieces into like 2 minutes and 3 minutes. I'm getting a lot of satisfaction out of that now that I didn't used to get. I'm finding a lot more kind of novelty within the space, a lot more novelty within like the nuance of individual expression. You can actually find a lot of individuality within a piece, which is kind of not necessarily harmonically very different to other pieces of music. But as you know yourself, like you can find individuality within the spaces. You can find individuality in the phrasing as well. And it's like there's actually a lot of kind of like room for creativity and ingenuity within a more minimalist space that I didn't actually used to realize, which is interesting. So it's sort of come full circle as well. I've went through lots of progressive stuff, and now like the stuff I'm making is much more kind of like melody led, for example, more like compact and like trying to make it all like, rather than going everywhere in a general narrative, it's more like how can I succinctly say a single thing in a way that where every component perfectly complements everything else.
Wow. It's kind of interesting. Like when somebody's doing like if you're doing a one, like say C. Just one note.
Yes.
That's really great.
It is
Tension and anxiety.
It's like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
space.
genius.
Music
by the way.
psychology.
It's how you do it.
It already connects the brain, and
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean, you don't need to hit somebody over the head with a million different things to
exactly.
already engage the brain and make it feel something. And that's
Exactly. And
You
sometimes it's
are
like it's
right, Eric,
intensity, you know?
because
Yeah.
as a composer, you manipulate the brain. You must know how to manipulate the brain, the mind, the
Yeah.
psyche. And if
Yeah,
you know your
exactly.
own, or if you know how it works, sort of, it really helps. Right
Mm,
now,
it does.
I used to be at a position where I was beginning as a composer, that I used to think that melodies and harmonies somehow belong together and that I should work with them, etc. And in the end, I arrived to the point where it's only about how I want to make the person feel and what I want to like evoke it in him. And I try to build it in me, and if it works, then I'll try to build it in someone else. But of
Exactly.
course, and it's just spend so much time in it, and then it's your other, it's your basically, it's your other language. If you spend, well, if you spend very much time in it, it's basically becomes your language. But I'm not really that far at this point. I think I'm skilled in some areas of the of the musical of keys. I have preferred keys, and I have keys that I don't visit this way. So it's but anyway, it's just about finding your favorite ones anyway. I think maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Harry, can you play a little part from this 1-2-1-4 theme or something like that? Can you play a little part from this theme? You
Which
talk
one
about
of
it.
us? Should it be me?
Harry.
What do you want to hear?
What you talk about it? That 2 months ago you started to.
The piece that you were working on.
Yeah, you working on.
Cool. Yeah.
You talked about it.
Man, I haven't played
Yeah.
this in a few days. Okay. Extract.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
that was very good.
Great.
Very good.
Thank you.
You can feel the feelings, with the. It's almost like you finding yourself, within the song.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah, definitely. Haven't played that in like a month.
Yeah.
So that was okay.
So it's a fresh fun.
Are there lyrics to this?
Oh, no, but I've been experimenting with a bit of songwriting recently, actually, and I've been starting to look into compositions that I've made previously and thinking, actually, I could put lyrics over the top of this. And this is one of the things I'm thinking I could put lyrics over the top of. Yeah.
Paul has a very correct opinion, because this is the perfect
Mm-hmm.
water for a fish to swim in.
Yeah.
It's exactly for that kind of a soft voice. It could.
If people who like the music of Jobim would love that. It's almost like Brazilian. It's almost like a bossa nova.
It does actually have a it does. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you. But yeah, definitely could do some singing. I've been doing a lot of that recently, so yeah.
Do you know how to sing? Do you know how to sing?
I used to sing as a kid, and then I stopped, and I've been teaching myself again for the last year, and it's actually sounding okay now. So I'm getting my voice back, and it's actually coming along. So yes, I'm becoming a singer, which is really nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Both together.
Yeah.
And what about you, Jakub? What's your new fresh project? Maybe what can you talk
I
about?
have a couple of projects right now because how to put this? I'm kind of I'm a composer. I'm not a composer like classical composer or game composer or anything like that. I rather see myself in more extreme genres like experimental jazz, for instance.
It's quite great.
A while ago, I started recording some
jazz.
musical snippets that connect jazz and drum and bass, for example.
Fusion.
Yeah, like fusion, but not in a sense that fusion you fuse jazz with pop, with disco, funk, or whatever. Rather experimental kind of music, but still, I'm on daily basis. I'm composing whatever I like, but still very guitar heavy, guitar centered, as well as I am active in two projects. I'm currently bassist for a doom metal band. It's like very low spectrum of heavy, very heavy music, and I'm a guitarist and vocalist in a heavy metal band right now. So yeah, I keep myself busy.
Yeah. So that's
Are you
not boring.
Are you working? I mean, how does COVID affect your live performances?
Well, yeah, the COVID was not very kind to music industry, especially here. Especially here in Poland, for musicians, it was very, very hard. And the thing is that 1.5 years ago, when the first lockdown started in Poland, we had a last concert. I had a last concert as a vocalist. Just one day before everything was closed, and I haven't been performing live concerts for 1.5 years, but and yeah, a lot of people didn't, because we weren't allowed to. A lot of folks turned into live broadcast, like from Facebook or YouTube, from the rehearsal rooms, for instance. But us, we sort of focused on finishing recording the album, which we are working on for like 3 or 4 years now. Pain in the ass. But apart from this, it was very happy for me because I'm not a very outgoing person. surprisingly. And when I stayed at home, I had lots of opportunities to write my own music, to experiment with some stuff, to buy new gear and then try it out and so on. And it was kind of, for me personally, it was happy, but for people living from music professionally, it was very hard. I'm not a musician by profession. That's my passion. That's my hobby. So I was fortunate enough that I had my daily bread and butter, and I was also fortunate enough that I had time for it. You know, I could sit on my personal computer in my bag, and that's it. That's great. But I missed, we missed, all of the musicians I know missed playing live. And when clubs opened, we immediately started attending jam sessions, right? So we just get on stage and jam out, and it was fantastic. It's fantastic. Actually, yesterday I was at a jam session, but
That's it.
now, yeah, I sort of miss playing live, but still, it is possible right now. I just don't do it. We prepare both projects to be ready to go off live.
What is your day job?
I'm a quality assurance engineer in software company, which means I'm a software tester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Testing the quality of the software. Yeah.
So basically, I tell people what they do wrong, and I'm getting paid for it.
What
That's a good
time?
job.
What time? You're wrong. Can I give you money?
Yeah.
Do they put a lot of
So you're
workload
almost
on
like
you?
a police officer, yeah?
Because our
No,
tester
I
is
don't know much.
extremely tired all the time.
Actually, for the last 2 months, I've been on something called the bench. The bench, generally speaking, is something when the company hires you, but doesn't have any particular project for you, because they want to keep you as their specialist.
Oh, I see.
So I didn't have project for 2 months now, and I've been sort of lazy, so to speak. Right now, we started a project for good, and we are preparing this whole framework, and it's a lot of work. And it's very, very tiring, but I believe I will come out of this victorious, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
But still, it's not like workload really depends on time in the project, right? And I'm kind of satisfied with what I do. So
That's the main thing, that you satisfied and love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Paul, what's the matter with the virus in the USA? In general, or in the music life, composing? What's the effect, with the coronavirus? in the USA, with the cultural life, concerts, music, composing. Yeah.
No, I was supposed to go on tour with Neoclassica in Russia, a very big tour. So we're on our third postponement.
Oh.
So I'm supposed to start again in March, but this was a tour that was supposed to take place in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's been problematic because we're dealing with orchestras. All the tickets were already sold ahead of time, and because Russia's had a lot of big restrictions. So the problem is, how do you sell out a concert, but then they allow you to perform again, but only to 25% capacity. So the people who bought tickets for that concert, only 25% are allowed to attend. So
a quarter, yeah.
So it's better than we kept postponing the entire tour intact.
Mm.
So now, hopefully, it's going to begin in March. But it's,
Mm.
so I've been up in the air. I've been ready to go on tour for almost 2 years now. So
Mm.
you know, have to wait. So in the meantime, I've been working on other composing projects. Nothing, no live performances. So, but I worked on my house. I did a lot of remodeling on my house, and I have a goddaughter now.
Yeah,
so
me
I
too.
spend
We do too.
1 or 2 days a week with her. She plays piano. She already is playing. She's only 8
Yeah.
months old.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
really cute videos. Those are, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, teaching her how to swim, teaching her how to play piano. So.
Maybe she will be the next piano princess, you know. Who knows?
She's on my lap and I'll play, and then she pushes my arms, and then she starts to play.
I'll take over from here.
Yeah.
The other day I was playing like jingle bell, jingle all the way, just like jingle bell, jingle all the way. She pushed my hands aside, and then she goes. She actually got the rhythm.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's really great.
Nice.
Same tempo I was in. So he's learning fast.
She's gonna be better than us.
Yeah, if Paul teaches her, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not even like I'm teaching her. I just put her on my lap, and she watches my hand.
It seems she really feels it and really.
Well,
Really
you are
feels
teaching
wild,
just by doing it.
Yes, it's like you do it, and then she learns. Like so that's nice. Yeah. So I guess it did have impact on me, but I don't know. I'm the kind of person whatever is happening, I just make it work. If it's raining that day, then I'll just make sure I bring an umbrella. If it's sunny, I make sure I'll go to the beach. So if I go on tour, then I do something else. I'm always busy, so I always have a lot of stuff to do, and so I didn't. It's not that I didn't feel COVID impact. It's just that I just did a lot of other stuff, so which was fun. I focused more on my collecting porcelain. Collecting porcelain is a lot of work, as a matter of fact. There's a lot of research, a lot of looking all over the world for certain pieces, which takes. I mean, I can look for months on a piece that I really want to include in my collection. So I mean, it's like being an art collector. You can spend months, days, years researching, understanding.
Collection.
You have more free time for this now. Yeah.
Yeah. So certain areas, I spent more time dancing, more time collecting, more time composing. I'm on a project in France, so that's it gave me a lot of opportunities to do music that I would normally never do.
I tried dancing with him. He puts everyone to shame.
Oh yeah.
I know from Instagram. I have
I make him do all the things that I do on a daily basis.
That's fair.
But that's physically. That's a lot of stamina and a lot of dexterity and a lot of strength.
For sure.
But it's telling Yvonne is that one of the things in my life I always try to take care of my happiness. So meaning that a lot of things in my life make me happy. Dancing makes me happy. Porcelain makes me happy. Having friends come over for a party makes me happy. Buying, creating clothes. I love clothes. I love fashion. I like putting together an outfit for a concert. I mean, going out to an event, a party. Like tonight, I have to go to a big event in Los Angeles, so I had to put together a whole look. So I like that kind of thing. So I like working on my house. I like remodeling. I like learning history. I like a lot of stuff. I like listen. One of the things I've been able to do this past year is really study the Beethoven symphonies and the Mahler symphonies. A lot of requiems. I'm starting to compose my first requiem.
Ooh,
So
cool.
I've been able to indulge in a
Cool.
lot of learning, a lot of learning things. So yeah, so that's how it's impacted me. So maybe I wouldn't have had a chance to do any of these things. So I'm happy with the things that I have done, um, that I filled up my time with instead of you know going on tour. But so now I'm gonna start a new project with Rob, but also I have to start getting ready to go on tour in March. So
Oh.
things are gonna be getting a little crazy for me. So
Sounds
which
like
is fine. I like being very busy.
Yeah, as
It's
we
fun.
can hear.
My advice to you the last couple of days since I was here, keep fit, work out, keep your mind sharp, because the man has a very sharp mind and always
Yeah.
keeps it very.
Yeah.
I'm a lazy guy. I'm just cerebral most of the time, and if you keep your mind sharp, your cerebral effect will skyrocket.
it does. It does.
Work out to keep healthy.
It's important.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what
So,
about
Jordan,
Brock? What about Brock?
He's doing a lot of pharmaceutical research. He's on a lot of different studies for PTSD, Alzheimer's.
And of course playing saxophone, yeah?
Oh yeah. But I mean, his main job is for his neurological and psychiatric pharmaceutical research, and so he's done a lot of studies now, and actually in the pharmaceutical industry with psychiatric and neurological disease, a lot of the medications are switching over to injectables. So which is you get injectables for post-traumatic syndrome,
Really?
disorder, like sexual disorder, anxiety disorder, Alzheimer's. He's on studies of actually kind of pretty much all the psychiatric issues can good 70% of them are now being treated by injectables, which is good. A lot of times, if people have a mental issue with depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, they're getting to the point where you only need to do your medication once a month.
Ah,
So for people whose lives go up and down like this, and they
Yeah.
forget whatever.
exactly. They forget to take
Sounds
the tablet.
great.
Yeah.
It will be almost like in the futuristical sci-fi movies, you know. It's
Yeah.
quite interesting.
These injectables are
That's very important. I mean, I know there are some very close people to me who suffered some of those. So
Yes, me too.
it would be very helpful if this would work, like once
Yeah.
a month and not like every day. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
So
teaching yourself until.
right, so it's helpful like for those kind of issues. So he's been part of those studies. How do injectables work, and how do they taper off for a period of time? What are the side effects? But they're finding it's great success, even with people with illnesses like in diabetes, HIV, leukemia, all this stuff. They're finding that they're going to be able to do long-term injectables, where maybe you only take medication once every 6 months.
Wow.
It's getting much
That's
better.
game changing. Yeah.
Part of a lot of that those studies. But then he has his private practice in psychiatry, and then Brock is learning Russian. He takes private Russian lessons
Oh.
because we're in Russia a lot, and
It will be good for the tour, yeah?
and Brock trains every day with a very famous Russian athlete who sends him his training videos, and Brock is very, very diligent about his exercise every day. Actually, so now he's actually stronger now than he was like 20 years ago. So
Wow.
Oh, that's a good.
The older he gets, the stronger he gets.
That's the dream. Yes.
And his brain power increases because of all of his medical studies, and just he's another one of those people. He learns more and more and more. So, like for instance, we had a dinner party a couple weeks ago for 30 people. Actually, we had a party the other day for 100 people on.
Oh.
What day?
Oh yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, so we had
That's a good one.
we had 100 people at our house
100 people.
on Saturday. Brock cooked
Wow.
the whole meal. Before that, we had a dinner party, a sit-down dinner for 30 people, but with 7 courses. So
Oof.
30 people with 7 courses, one at a time, and Brock prepared the whole
Wow.
thing. He did
Wow.
it like a so he learns how to do. He learned his skill set is getting higher.
To use heroes references to describe Brock. Brock did the expert wisdom skill to the 4 magic skill. And Brock would be the knowledge skill to the spell power skill, and Brock would be
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, magic.
Combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know what even.
That's awesome.
I have to go, so I'm supposed to be someplace like right now.
Can you play some favorite theme? What did you play from Heroes or something like that? In the end, some piano play.
You tell me what
favorite.
my
Okay.
favorite, which is what.
What I will
I
want.
just wanted to second Paul and say that I have to stop
Oh,
for a while at least because I need to get my dinner.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot to eat.
Wow.
Oh.
Christmas song.
You know, it's kind of funny. It's when I do this when I play in Poland, the conductor likes it to be slow and more melancholy, like that. But in Russia, they want to.
Yeah.
I need an electric guitar, yeah?
So what's interesting
Polka.
is I get, in different countries, you get a different psychology. Like
Yeah,
comparing
exactly.
of
Yeah.
of how they see your project, and so it touches the brain in different ways to different people, and so whenever I play like the music in different places, and I'm working with a conductor, I try to go with how they feel. You know, it's not just my way. Oh, it needs to be exactly the way I compose the music. It's like, okay, that's it, you feel this way about my music, and it touches your brain. So let's try to go that way in terms of the performance, a little bit more like that, and you get a different interpretation, a different musical experience. So it's just kind of being flexible. So you can write a song, Harry, and maybe you sing it in Japan. They kind of like it a little faster.
Oh yeah.
And then you sing the same song in Brazil, and your musicians are kind of wanting you to slow it down because that's how that's their rhythm. That's how they face with your music. So
Exactly.
flexibility in music, it's wonderful. If we can be like
Some
that.
cultures are more on the grid as well, you know, like very metronomic, and another ones are kind of looser. But yeah, exactly. That's another factor.
So that's how we are with our hello.
When I had a small little concert in Japan, you know, we're playing Chopin, we're playing Koji Kondo, like Super Mario composers, we're playing.
Nice.
But I was to play a happy birthday to my mother-in-law, my brother's wife's mother. Yeah. So, happy birthday is an easy tune, but I did not know that in Japan they play it in a waltz tempo. So there was an audience, and I was playing "Happy Birthday to You," and then they were like, "Happy Birthday." So I myself, and it took me like 10 minutes of sumimasen. Like, sumimasen, makagai jin desu.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you for joining, and
Oh,
we had a really great discussion.
It's so great to see you again.
Same here. I'm sorry we didn't get you here, but stick around and play something for them so I can hear it on the playback.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna put it on.
Okay. We rattled the word, Jakub.
Should I play something?
Yes, just a little fresh.
Okay. I have a guitar right here. I actually have most of my guitars because I apparently am an avid collector of,
I see.
guitar gear. And I have like 10 guitars already. But this one is
You are a
kinda
collector. You are a
special
collector.
because I received it in exchange with my friends, and it's a semi-hollow body. It's
Oh.
like jazz guitar.
Oh, I've got nice. I've got
Quite nice.
But what should I play?
Whatever you want.
Can
You
you hear
wrote.
it?
Do you play something that you composed?
Yeah.
Play something I composed. Oh my god!
The hardest part, yeah.
I can play Bach for you.
Always uncompromising.
But something I composed is kind of
You
difficult.
cannot fake this.
I'm gonna switch to different guitar.
Yeah, go hard.
Go hard,
very
yeah.
hard, man. No one to
Hard
like
rock.
because it is tuned much lower.
Yeah, it's dropped. Did you learn
Oh.
to drop the guitar?
Oh,
See?
it's a little bit of Doom feel, you know, when you play Doom.
Can you hear it?
Yes, yes.
And
Oh, yeah, loud and
kind of
clear.
music I compose is rather simplistic. It depends on layers. Like I have a couple of simple layers in my music. Like there's a high droning sound, but in the background it's
Wow.
like this, and the singer sings something else, and I compose the drums. But if I was to play something, recently